Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about cross-country skiing, the ultimate endurance sport. But before we get into the facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. When we think of ancient history, we think of massive stone structures like the Great Pyramids of Giza. But what if I told you that humans were already clicking into wooden skis and gliding across the snow long before the first stone of the pyramids was ever laid? What do you think? Is this an actual fact or just too good to be true? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is Sisu. That's S-I-S-U. Sisu is a unique Finnish word that doesn't have a direct one-word translation in English, but it roughly means extraordinary determination, grit, and courage in the face of extreme adversity. It's a word used to describe the mindset of an athlete who refuses to give up, even when their muscles are screaming and the finish line is still miles away through a freezing blizzard. Now, Finland is a land of long, harsh winters, and for centuries, skiing wasn't just a sport, it was to survive, hunt, and travel. To have Sisu meant you had an internal strength to push through the deepest snow to get home to your family. In the world of Olympic cross-country skiing, the Finnish teams are legendary for this mindset, and fans around the world use the word Sisu to describe the incredible second wind athletes often find during that final stretch of a grueling 50-mile race. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about cross-country skiing. Number 1. Cross-country skiers are often considered the fittest athletes in the world. When scientists measure an athlete's VO2 max, which is a test of how much oxygen the body can use during intense exercise, cross-country skiers consistently score higher than many fit athletes like cyclists and marathon runners. This is because cross-country skiing requires the simultaneous use of your legs, core, back, and arms. Because every major muscle group is working at the same time, the heart has to pump an incredible amount of blood to keep the body moving. This high demand turns the heart into a super efficient pump, and many Olympic skiers can have a resting heart rate as low as 30 or 40 beats a minute. It's a level of cardiovascular fitness that's almost superhuman, allowing these athletes to maintain the sprint-like pace for over 2 hours in the snow. Number 2. While most of us just simply refer to cross-country skiing as one thing, there are actually 2 distinct styles of skiing. In the Olympics, you'll notice some skiers stay in 2 parallel tracks, while others look like they're ice skating on skis. These are the 2 official styles, classic and skating or freestyle. In the classic style, the skier moves their legs in a back and forth striding motion, whereas the skating style, they push off the edge of the ski at an angle, much like a hockey player or a speed skater. The equipment for these styles is fine-tuned to the specific physics of the movement. Classic skis are longer and have a kick zone in the middle with scales or special wax to help the ski grip the snow as the athlete pushes forward. And this wax has an interesting sort of contradictory job. It has to be sticky enough to grip the snow when the skier stands still to push off, but slippery enough to glide perfectly once the skier starts moving. They're able to do this because of static versus kinetic friction. When the skier puts their full weight on the ski to push off, tiny crystals of snow bite into the wax, giving them traction. But as soon as the ski starts moving, the friction creates a microscopic layer of water that lets the ski glide over the snow. Technicians spend hours testing different waxes for the exact temperature and humidity of the snow. If the wax is even a tiny bit off, the skier will either slip backwards on a hill or stick to the snow like they have glue on their feet. Now, skating skis, on the other hand, are shorter and stiffer to handle the sideways force of the push-off, allowing the athletes to reach much higher speeds than the traditional classic style. Number 3. Elite skiers often live in high-altitude houses to change the chemistry of their blood. To prepare for the Olympics, many skiers spend months living in specialized houses or training at high-altitude mountain camps where the air is thin and contains less oxygen. When the body senses this lack of oxygen, it naturally produces more red blood cells to help carry oxygen more efficiently to the muscles. It's essentially a legal, natural way to supercharge the body. When the athletes come back down to sea level for a race, they temporarily have super blood that can drive massive amounts of oxygen to their muscles, allowing them to ski faster and longer without getting tired. Scientists monitor these levels closely because if the blood gets too thick with red blood cells, it can actually be dangerous. It's just amazing the lengths these athletes will go to perform at peak physical condition. Number 4. Cross-country skiing's biggest race is celebrating a daring royal rescue from all the way back in 1520. The most famous cross-country ski race in the world is the Vasaloppet in Sweden, a massive 90-kilometer or 56-mile journey that attracts thousands of participants. The race commemorates the journey of Gustav Vasa, the King of Sweden, who was fleeing from an invading army in the winter of 1520. He skied across the wilderness to gather supporters, and his successful escape eventually led to the independence of the Swedish nation. Today, the race is a national tradition so popular that the entry slots often sell out in minutes. Professional athletes and regular grandmothers alike ski side by side through the forest. It's also like the coolest living history lesson, reminding everyone that before skiing was a high-tech Olympic sport, it was a vital tool of survival for even the king and the birth of a nation. And our fifth and final fun fact for today, Olympic cross-country skiers can burn over 1,000 calories an hour. Because cross-country skiing is so physically demanding, the energy burn rate for these athletes is off the charts. During a long-distance race, an Olympic skier might burn over 5,000 calories, or the equivalent of about 10 large cheeseburgers. To keep up with this demand, skiers have to eat massive amounts of carbohydrates like pasta, oatmeal, and bread every single day just to maintain their normal body weight. During the race, they can't stop to eat a meal, so they rely on feeding stations where coaches hand them cups of water, sugary sports drinks, or liquid gels while they're still skiing. The drinks are usually kept warm because cold liquid can shock the stomach during such intense exercise. It's a constant battle to keep the fuel tank full because if a skier runs out of energy, their muscles will simply stop working, a phenomenon known as bonking. And there are some limits that even Sisu can't overcome. Now for some news you can use. If you want to try cross-country skiing for the first time, one of the best tips to get started is trust the glide. Beginners often try to walk on their skis, taking short, choppy steps. This is exhausting and just very slow. Instead, try to shift all your weight onto one ski and hold it there for a second or two, letting the ski slide forward. This weight transfer is essential to the sport. By balancing on one leg at a time, you allow the wax and the snow to do some of the work for you, saving your energy for the hills. You can practice this at home in your socks on a smooth floor. Slide 1 foot forward and try to balance it as long as possible before the next slide. This will help you get used to the idea that stability comes from graceful and controlled movements, not from standing stiff. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, could it really be true that skiing is actually older than the Great Pyramids of Egypt? Well, that's a fact. While the Great Pyramid was built around 2500 BCE, archaeologists have discovered wooden skis in Russia and Scandinavia that date back to 6000 BCE. That's over 8,000 years ago. Ancient rock carvings found in Russia even show hunters on skis chasing reindeer. These prehistoric skis were often asymmetrical, where one was long for gliding and the other was short and covered in animal fur to provide grip for pushing off. So, even thousands of years ago, humans understood the complex relationship between friction and glide, using nature's materials to conquer the winter landscape long before the first stone was ever laid for the pyramids. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about cross-country skiing with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.